Hi everybody, it's Dr. Memo from drmemo1.com, and are leaders really born at your company events? Well, recently I was on a webinar with Mark J, the World's Laziest Networker, and he has a blog and a YouTube channel which you can find. And he pointed out how he had trouble at first making this work. In other words, you take people to events and it was like, where's the magic? I just went to an event. Why isn't my group growing? And what he realized is it's not just you can't just show up, and now your business is thriving. Yeah, you're pumped up, but what happens if you don't do anything? I mean, nothing, right? So he made some observations. One was that a lot of people, most people, like 1 to 2 weeks before the event, they stop doing things, right? Because I'm going to get ready for my event. And then at the event, they're doing less learning and more socializing than anything, trying to meet people and whatnot. And then when they come back, they're all pumped up and they're calling all their team members, and the event was so great. Let me tell you about it. Let me answer all your questions about it. So now they've lost basically a whole month of productivity. So that is not a good plan for business. And so what you want to do is have an organized plan. And basically it just breaks down into a few points. And this is just a summary of his webinars. Webinars goes into a lot more detail. And it's what you want to do is a month before the event is really ramp up your activity, right? You want to schedule business opportunity meetings, all the way up until the week of your event, even a couple days before you leave if you can. And you also want to schedule a call time with your team so they can call and populate those events, right? And also before you leave, you want to schedule a meeting for right after the event, right? So now you have a meeting set up right after the event with your team. Now during the event, so you're not wasting time, when you've gotten together with your team members, you're actually going to ask them, what are your 2 biggest challenges in your business? You're going to put them on one sheet of paper, one on one sheet of paper, one on the other sheet of paper. And they're to find 10 different solutions while they're at their event for each of those challenges. And now they're engaged right at the event, and they're learning and they're solving their challenges. And the other thing at the event is if your company is selling tickets for the next event, well, you are going to be the first in line, and so is your group. And while you're in line, you're going to call active team members and say, hey man, you really should be at this event. Do you want to be at the next one? Let's get you a ticket, and have them collect, a credit card number over the phone or whatever, and get them a ticket as well. Now lastly, and probably most important, and something I always did wrong, was I'd come home and debrief everybody, right? Like, we talked about this, we talked about that, and then you should do this and you should do that, but next thing I knew, it was a week to 2 weeks later, and now all the momentum and frenzy was gone, right? So don't debrief your team, because now they didn't invest the time or the money to go, those members, so those are more like tire kickers anyway. So you're just wasting your time. Work with the people that deserve it, like Jim Rohn said, right? So the people who went to your event, they deserve your time. Work with them, and again, you have that meeting right after the event. Try to get people there. Now, as far as people trying to get notes from you and stuff, you could just Mark J says use the falling in love excuse. Jim, it's kind of like falling in love. Do you know what that's like, Jim? Well, it's hard to explain, right? Same thing. It's just hard to explain. All I know is that it was great, and you really should be there next year, and that's it. Okay, something like that. Again, his webinar goes into a lot of great detail, and you can find him on YouTube, and he has a blog. It's Mark J, World's Laziest Networker. So I give him credit for all these little tidbits I gave you, but he doesn't send a replay for that webinar, so I thought I'd share. Anyway, if you got value from this video, please share and comment with your team, and comment below. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. And remember, together we can do anything.